Well, are you tired of driving your mom's old car, or you just want the best bang for your buck? This car might just be the answer to that. I'm Adam Sheikh and this is my new car channel. Let's jump into the video. Well, for those of you who don't know, Infiniti is the luxury division of the automaker Nissan, and they were founded in 1989, primarily to serve the Chinese, Middle Eastern and North American regions. So if you're not part of any of these three regions, you might probably have never even heard of the car. This is the Infiniti G37s Coupe, which is a successor to the G35. G35, G37, this might be pretty resonant to the people in the car community because these are basically the jacked up versions of the 350Zs and the 370Zs. Those cars are amazing because they were built on the FM platform from Nissan, which means the front midship, which basically means that the engine is pushed way back in the engine bay, right behind the front axle, which improves handling as well as is great for weight distribution. Well, today we have the Infiniti G37s Coupe, which means that it's a two-door model, but you also get this in a sedan version with 4 doors, and you also get a convertible version. As for the drivetrain, it's a rear-wheel drive car, but you also get an all-wheel drive for the Canadian and the North American markets. So today we're going to speak just specifically about the Coupe models, but as for the engine and the drivetrain, everything is similar except adding 2 more doors. So let's jump under the hood and see what's powering this video. Before we jump into the hood of the car, I just wanted to add that the G37 was made up from 2008 till 2015, and in the later years it was renamed to the Q60. The G37, they share the same platform and with the 2015 Q60 as well, but after that they changed the entire chassis in the following years. So this specifically is called the V36 if I'm not wrong. So let's jump into the hood and see what's powering this car. So excuse the dirty engine bay. Powering this car is a 3.7 liter V6 engine, also known as the VQ37 VHR. So all those car fanatics might probably even recognize this engine. It's powered by the VVEL-DIG, which is variable valve electronic liftgate, which in simple terms just means that the throttle bodies are always open. Unlike conventional engines where you control the rev by the throttle bodies, you control this by the amount at which the intake valves open. Nissan has an amazing video which explains this system, which is very similar to the system that BMW uses. So this 3.7 liter V6 is paired to a 6-speed manual transmission or a 7-speed automatic transmission and drives the rear wheels only on the S models. You have the X models where you have the all-wheel drive drivetrain, but this has just the 7-speed automatic which powers the rear wheels. Jumping into the interior of the car, these cars have an amazing interior and in my opinion they've aged pretty well. So as you can see, the interior is pretty beautiful. There might be a few scratches like on the door panels and on the door handle right there, as well as the gear shift lever. Remember, this is a 12-plus-year-old car, has 153,000 kilometers on it. So they were regular. These seats are leather bucket seats, and they move in every way possible, up, down, front and back, all electric controlled. Apart from that, they have really good bolsters on the side which hold you in place for those aggressive driving sessions or the track days. And even for the driver's seat, you have these air pumps which you can control, which can hold you tighter in place, which means that you don't move as much during your aggressive driving sessions. Apart from that, it has a beautiful navigation system right here. It does come with Bluetooth for calling, but you can't play music. I'm not sure why Nissan did that, but it was 2011, so they had a few plans. This comes with navigation, FM, as well as an aux, where you can connect where you have an RCA cable right here where you can connect your phone and play music. And the speaker system is a Bose system, which in my opinion is one of the best systems that I've ever seen on a car or heard on a car. If you get one of these cars, you would never even have to change the speaker system because it's just phenomenal. Well, jumping into the driver's seat right now, you have this amazing steering wheel, and this model specifically here is a 7-speed automatic, so you also get these paddle shifters which are magnesium alloy, some paddle shifters which are amazing, which are massive and pretty good to hold and use, and I see using these very often because they're just comfortable. And you see this leather wrapped steering wheel, as well as you have your odometer right there, speedometer and everything. This cluster itself moves with the steering wheel, so the steering is electronically adjustable, which you can move up and down, front and back as well. So the entire instrument cluster also moves with it. And the driving position is pretty good. You sit pretty low in the car, which means that you can see more, you're more under control. But again, you can move the seat according to your liking. You want to sit high up, you can do that. Sit low, down, back, front. It's just amazing. And the seats also have thigh support right here down, so which you can contract, open and close with the lever down. It's manually adjusted, so which is amazing. For a 2011 car, it is one of the best interiors that I've seen on a car. But again, remember, this car, since they're old, they might have switched a lot of hands, which means that people might have not maintained it as well as this car is maintained right here. So there might be a few hiccups. But that's where the good things end. These cars have a few drawbacks, and let's jump into them right now. Well, these cars have amazing interiors, but there are a few drawbacks. Starting, which I've already mentioned in the video, are these scratches right here. The interior trim tends to scratch up a lot, and the door handles as well. So over usage, it does kind of fade off the upper, I think it's the upper layer that comes out. Apart from that, it's also the gear shift lever. These were not well made. I've seen a lot of Nissans have this go bad, but it's not very expensive to get the entire shift knob replaced, or even if you just want to get it wrapped, you can whatever suits you best. Another thing that goes out pretty bad is the steering wheel itself. As you can see, the top layer on the steering wheel has come out. This happens because of a lot of exposure to the sun, like it is having right now. And since it's changed a lot of hands, it's not changed a lot of hands, it had a lot of driving on it, so it does kind of wear off. Again, this is an easy fix. You can just get a steering wheel cover, or just get your entire steering wheel changed to the carbon fiber ones that you get, which is not very expensive, but again, you do have an option. And another most important drawback of these cars, or Infinitis or Nissans in general, are the dashboard. The dashboard on these cars are pretty hideous. This car right here is in much better condition than compared to what my friends have. So any Nissan or Infiniti that came out during I don't know, I think even the newer models that come out, they have these pretty hideous dash cracks, as you can see. This happens over usage and exposure to the sun. Nissan hasn't issued any kind of recall on this, so be aware, you have to get these changed. And getting your entire dashboard wrapped is a pretty expensive affair, because it involves removing all of them, all of the dashboard together. Or you can also get a cheap wrap, which might not cost you more than $100. Let's jump outside and talk about the reliability. This car, the G37 and the 370Zs, are pretty reliable cars, but then again, it has a few hiccups. Getting to the first one, I would say, is the radiator hoses and the water pump. One of the radiator hose that sits way back in the engine towards the firewall right here. You can find a lot of the videos on YouTube which talk about that. It's basically a small coupler that goes bad. It's because they used a cheap plastic bit, so it kind of, because of the heat and over time, it becomes brittle, hence it blows up and you have radiator all over the place and your car basically shuts down. So that's a pretty simple fix. It doesn't cost you more than $30 and a bit of elbow grease to get that fixed. It's a home job, which is not a big issue in my opinion. But when it comes to the water pump, Nissan or Infiniti, they decided to put the water pump inside the engine, which means it's inside the timing cover chain, and if something goes wrong, it means that you'll have to remove the entire thing just to replace the water pump. Another reliability issue with these cars are the oil gallery gaskets, especially the 2013 and below models. I think it's the 2012 and below models. They came with the paper-like gaskets, and that's not where the issues ended. The paper-like gaskets are held with Phillips screwdrivers. Yes, you heard that right. It's Phillips screwdrivers, and they didn't use hex bolts. I'm not sure what Nissan was thinking. They use that, which means that the oil gallery gaskets are pretty bad on these cars. They go bad, you lose oil pressure, and you're gonna seize up your engine. So these are the three main things that I think that you should address and budget it out whenever you're buying these cars. So if, say for example, you budget out 15,000, try to get these cars about 10,000 so that you have about 5,000 change and just to address those issues. It's not going to cost you so much, but it's never a bad choice to have the extra budget in your pocket. So it involves just removing the timing cover chain and just replacing all the components. If when I'm gonna do such a job, I'm just gonna replace the timing cover chain, the tensioner, the pulleys, and even the gallery gaskets on the rotor pump. So once you address these issues, it's pretty much a good go. Have fun. This car can take you another 200,000 miles, and you include this video. This is my Infiniti G37s Coupe that I picked up mid-February 2023. Before this, I've had the Dodge Charger RT. Actually, before this, I had the 2008 Infiniti G37s, and before that, I had the Dodge Charger RT. So this basically is my second Infiniti right here. The main reason why I sold my Dodge Charger is because I wanted a fun sports car that I could drive rather than a boat, which is heavy and just good in a straight line. This car is pretty fun, and if you're planning to go for one of these cars, I would highly recommend it if you can address the issues. So I have a lot planned for this car, and I've made this YouTube channel just to share my experiences. So if you do like this video and like the stuff that I'm making, just like, share and subscribe. It would help me out a lot. So have a good one. See you guys in the next one. Peace.